never really hated my job. Actually, I loved working there. I had coworkers who literally had the same energy and vibe, which is rare. It literally felt like a family more than a workplace. It's so much fun to work in a company full of young people. But it just wasn't it. Literally a phase. This is literally not gonna be my forever. I knew from the day I started in January 2022 that this is not where I belong. So it was a matter of time before I said my final goodbye. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Whatever time you may be watching this, I am filming this about 2.5 months after I sent in my resignation letter. A month and a half from my last final day of work. And so we've definitely had time. Life has lifed. I'm very glad I'm filming this right now. But just to bring you up to speed, to tell you, to actually explain the title of this video, the fact that it said to follow my dream. What is this dream? How did it all start? Because I did mention that since 2022 I knew that this day is gonna come. It's just I didn't know when it's gonna come, but I knew this day would come. So October 2021, we graduate from college. We're so excited. We're gonna get this. I had a dream. I had goals. I had plans. I had that sense of purpose. Like, I'm gonna do something with my life. Like, I had this world that I knew that I'm gonna create. Like, I'm gonna see it. And at the time, so we're gonna talk about this dream, and trust me, content creation is like 10% of it. We're gonna get more into it later in the video. But at the time, my YouTube channel had existed. I'd been on and off it. I created some videos of college, so you can go back and watch those. Like, I had a few videos there, and it wasn't really anything substantial. Same thing with my IG. I've had IG since it came out, but it wasn't until like maybe around 2018 when I decided that maybe let me try this content creation thing. Around 2018 is when I was starting my degree, is when I started considering like, okay, maybe I could do this content creation thing. During college, I didn't really post half as much as I expected or had wanted to. Even with that, all of that, plus all my other plans and what I actually wanted to do in life, I realized that if I wanted to get to where I actually wanted to get, I needed money.
That's how you know mommy's unemployed.
Yep, when the Bible said money is the answer to everything. Oh, my camera is blinking. I started looking for part-time jobs, and I could have done anything literally at this point. Like, I wanted to be a waitress and so I was just like, how do I get a part-time job that pays me enough to like do what I want to do? So like I was out here just thinking, I don't remember like applying for like proper 9-to-5s, because I knew I didn't want a 9-to-5 until one day, like I think it was 1st if not 2nd of January, a friend of mine that I went to college with that has ended up becoming a very dear sister of mine. But at the time, we literally just went to college together, and we had talked a few times, but weren't like close or whatever. And I think before that we hadn't talked since we graduated, which was like maybe since our final exam, which was at this point maybe 7 months before, like 7 months. And so she calls me and she's like, hey, hey, how are you, did you ever find a job? And I'm like, no, not really. Are you looking? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I'm actually looking right now. Yeah, so there's this internship opportunity, like if you want to apply. And I was literally just chilling. Like, this was after I think I'd done Vlogmas, and it was just a random day. I was so couch potato, those first days, a few days after Christmas. And so I just lazily sent my CV. I didn't even edit it or whatever. And my sister's like, yeah, I'm calling her my sister. Anyway, my sister's like, dude, no, this ain't it. This doesn't look good. Let me send you a template. She sends me a template, and she didn't have to, but she sends me a template. So I edit the template real fast, and then I send it back to ask what company she works in. Like, this is how much we weren't close. Like, I didn't even know where she works or what position, whatever. Like, I didn't know anything. about her that closely. So I asked for a company. It turns out it is an insurance company. So later that day, I get called in for an interview. I have to start looking up the company because like this is UAP insurance. Like I literally just sent in my CV. It's like how so many stories of people that actually like struggle to look for jobs. Like guys, God has been so kind to me. This is why I can make the Lulu decisions like this. People who are actually looking for jobs, they be sending out CVs everywhere. I wasn't doing like I did that for like, you know, presenter jobs like outside the country, or like just opportunities outside the country that I wanted to work with. But to intensely look for a job in Tanzania, especially a 9-to-5 in corporate companies, I didn't do that prior to this information. And so I sent in my CV and then I started looking up the company. What are they up to? What do they do? I only had one course of insurance in I did a bachelor's in business administration. So I had done a lot of finance courses, I did marketing courses, and just all of that stuff that was included. But there was only one insurance course that we did in that. And I'm like, I don't know anything about insurance. But this was an opportunity for business development, which usually is like marketing people usually do this stuff. But at this point, I didn't even know what business development is. You guys don't understand. This is my thing. I've always known where I'm cold. So I've never bothered to look at other people's jobs and calling because I never thought it would be me. So I didn't know what business development is. And I had to start looking up what is a business development officer, what is an intern, what do you answer in an interview, blah, 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 blah. I look up all this stuff. And I only do that for like maybe 2 hours. After that, I go back to watching Christmas movies. But I end up going for the interview. The interview goes well because when God has ordained for you to be there, I kid you not, you get so much grace, so much help. Some of the things you answer, you're like, how am I answering this? Like, I don't know the answers to this. But I think it was so funny that I noted down in my notes. I wrote this on 7th January 2022, which is the day of my interview. After the interview, I'm writing, how do I tell my corporate company interviewer that where I see myself in a few years is starring on a Netflix show? So this gives you a glimpse of where I'm going with this whole calling purpose, whatever thing. Another thing I wrote was, how do I tell my corporate company interviewer my greatest achievement is Vlogtober, or better yet, being part of an actual play on a live stage? I'll break it all down so it makes it sounds a little less Delulu, but it's all Delulu. So if you just anyway, so same day I get a call back. I got the job and I was so glad because 300,000 Tanzanian shillings, which, you know, when you go from 0 to 300,000 shillings, it just felt good. I think for me I was just tired of being taken care of. I want to take care of myself. I started the internship, and so I was doing my internship, and you know, and I did that for let me back up. So I start my internship. I have the best boss. Like, shout out to my boss, yo. I feel like bosses can make or break your life. He was just really nice, really good. This is the rest of the company though. There is such a good family culture within the company that yes, there can be like there is the crazy tension when doing work, but after work, like it's just vibes, you know. It's just vibes. Y'all can vibe, y'all can go out, you can eat, you can talk, it was really nice. And so then I went to different departments. Shout out to Esther Nyangoa, okay, who may or may not be watching this video. Maybe she is. This girl is literally one of the best people I've ever met in my entire life. She is so kind. She is so genuine. She was so gentle in teaching me, because I knew nothing, guys. I knew nothing. Apparently there's like there's underwriting, and so obviously I'm not gonna go into details because I still cannot explain. She taught me underwriting, and she taught me like a lot of stuff, and I just learned so much from her. And I was getting a grip of it, and you know, basically business development is a lot of sales, really. So we worked with agents and stuff, and I was learning the job. But even as I was learning the job, I was like, I can't do this. I remember part of it was like calling the agents and like just, you know, you're supposed to be you're supposed to be building relationships, business relationships, and I was sucking at it. Like, I was literally just calling people on the phone was giving me stomach notes. It was so hard for me internally. Like, outside I was just like, it's whatever. Every month I'd be like, how am I doing? Am I like actually doing a good job? Like, am I messing up anything? Do I need to learn anything? I would ask those staff. I would do the same thing, even like with the rest of the people that were teaching me work. My general manager, she was amazing. Like, she really took me in. I just, guys, you know, see how I sound excited? Because truly, this was my experience for me. For anyone that is watching this video and maybe you're fresh out of college and you're like, I don't know how you stumbled upon this video, but this will really help you in like your growth within, because I didn't quit my job because there was no room for growth. I didn't quit my job because I couldn't have, like, literally, if I truly followed the growth opportunities that are available for me, I'll probably be working somewhere in finance right now and like doing a lot better. Just even financially, position wise, there is so much room for growth if you position yourself well. So I remember talking to my COO. She is a lady in her 30s. So literally becoming a sister of mine, and I remember going to her and just asking her, like, I don't know like what path I wanna take. I know I'm like doing business development, but I'm not sure like which section to grow. And I remember she was just so kind. She gave me her journey, how she made it, because this is a lady in like her 30s that is COO of a whole multinational company. Like, our company, like, she talked to me and she would advise me. Again, same thing with the sister that had connected me to the office. There's literally a butterfly in my room. Where did it go? I asked her, and then again, the CFO at the time literally was a brother to me, because I went to him and I also was like, I've always been, the two things I was interested in was like marketing and finance. And so I remember I just told him that actually at the time I'm literally an intern. And this advice, again, this is why if you're in your 20s, if you can find one or two sisters that are in their or if you can get a brother in their 30s, trust me, experience matters. In their 40s, their 50s, right now in my life, that's one of the things that I'm trying to do, like build relationships with people who are even older than me. At this point, I have people who are in their 30s. I want to have at least one relationship with someone in their 40s. Again, another like 50s, thank God I have my mom. But like, if I can find someone in their 60s, in their 70s, experience matters so much, because there is a way of viewing the world that only people in their 30s can see. Because I remember at the time I was an intern, there were people my age who were like, you've been an intern for so long, like, you just need to get out of here, blah, 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 blah. I will come to that part. But my sister, who was in her 30s, was like, okay, listen, you have to be patient. Talk to this person, like, form a relationship with this person. And I'm like, okay, that's scary. But she's like, yeah, I know, but like trust me, you think before it. And so that's how I started. So again, I went to a CFO and I was just talking to him, and I was like, and again, this one of the benefits was that this was actually a small companies in terms of employees. In total, we had like 60 something employees. That's why this was possible. So I know that this is not possible for everyone, especially if you work in a company with like maybe 200 people, 1,000 people. This might not be possible. But you have your heads of department, you have whoever it is that is above you, especially in terms of position, in terms of age. Talk to them. And this is not to say like I went to build relationships with these people while I'd not. This was after like I'd formed a basis with like people my age, people were also interns. And at the time I don't even know who's an intern and who is employed, and no one's telling me anything. But like I just formed a relationship with people my age, and then I formed a relationship with the heads of my supervisors, but then my supervisor's friends, who was one of the marketing manager. He was the first one to actually notice that I have a YouTube channel, which that's when we actually started like talking like friends and stuff. And so again, like I told him that I'm actually interested in marketing and stuff like that. So again, throughout this time, he has really helped me. A lot of the vlogs that you have seen, actually, I'm sure you've seen him on the vlogs, that involved work outside the company, were actually opportunities that he would give me to go do other like marketing stuff or admin stuff. So the CFO, who's actually now the MD of the company, but at the time he was the CFO, and I just went to him and I talked to him and I was like, I'm interested in finance and marketing, about admin. So these are the areas that I thought of myself, like admin, I knew I wanted finance. I knew I wanted marketing if I were to work in the corporate world. And so again, he advised me beyond my career choice. He gave me his story, his journey. They are all so generous with me, and explains why they've made it as far ahead in life at such a young age that they do. They are so willing to teach, so willing to guide, so willing to teach. If you avail yourself, so look around you. Who can teach you something? Who can help you? Like, the time I'm also like really getting exhausted of like, I knew I didn't want to do BD, but I didn't know what else to do, and there was no opening for another job and I remember looking at the receptionist job and thinking, I like that job. It is very close to what I had wanted, except it's a 9-to-5. As in, I had wanted a job that wouldn't like, I didn't want targets. I didn't want a job that would require me to work after hours. Because as an intern, I worked I would literally work after hours. If they needed people to stay over, if they needed people to come on Saturday, like I would always do it. Why? Because when I started the job, I was like, I'm gonna give it my all. It doesn't, like, for now, those dreams are depending on how I act at this stage. When I was giving all these extra hours, I didn't have any extra time to work on the things that I actually love. I had very little time to work on them. Because by the time it's Sunday, like, you're exhausted. By the time it's like Saturday and Sunday, you're exhausted. I still tried, but not as much. So even if you've been following me with content for a while, then you know, like, I would fluctuate between seasons of being like really active, and then it would go down, and then active, and then it would go down. There was an opportunity to intern for receptionist, so I interned as a receptionist, and I asked for the regular salary of a like receptionist, and it was literally a 6-figure salary. And there aren't many companies that do that, and so I was very grateful to be in a company that had an opportunity to do that. But then for me to actually get there, I would need for it to be a job, not an internship. So I started looking out to other companies and other roles. I would apply a few times. Again, it wasn't that intense. And then August, I got a call from my friend, and she's like, hey, we're looking for, what did you say you're doing? And I was like, hey, I'm interning at this. We're looking for a receptionist, but / business manager, blah blah, / blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, I'll come interview for it. So I interviewed for it, and then I remember I literally had traveled, and this was in the middle of a week. I said my journey was just exceptional. So I was in the middle of my very short leave. I traveled with my family, so I'm in Iringa, and I get a call and told like I actually got the job. And I go back to my company, and I'm like, hey guys, so I got this job, but I know the position is open here because I was interning for it. So can I get the job? What do you guys think? And so I tell this to my supervisor, my HR, and my HR is like, my HR is like, well, you could consider staying with us. I'm like, okay, then this would mean I would have to interview here. I had 1 week, and this whole week I'm supposed to wait. They have to make the decision. I get the interview. Long story short, I ended up getting the job. I'm not even gonna go into the details of it's so much favor that went into me getting the job. I got the job, and obviously my current job was gonna pay me twice what I would have been paid if I moved to that other company, and so that's what made the decision a little bit easier. Though for me, it was very much a prayer point. I remember even telling my friends at the time, like, please help me pray. I know to any normal person it's just like amounts, but for me it's never just about numbers. It's, God, where would you have me in this season? Where is my assignment? It's not just about the numbers. And I am so glad that I actually stayed and I took this job, because it's just, I know that's where I was supposed to be in this season. The lives that I've touched, the lives that have touched me, and just where becoming the person, that's where I was supposed to be in that season. As I was doing the job and I was content creating, which for me, content creation is both marketing, but it's also just filmmaking, and I have such a long way to go. What the job did was finance that. And the problem was, I started getting I started burning out really bad. Like, I would literally start getting sick on the job. Like, somewhere around March, I got a little bit sick. Somewhere around maybe April, March, I got a little bit sick. Somewhere in June, like, I can't tell you the number of times, like, I would think I'm getting a fever, and then I'll be like, oh, I've not been sleeping. And then I would give myself maybe 2 days to actually sleep like a normal human being for like 8 hours, or like 7 hours, and I would go back to normal. And around August it got really bad, and I remember just sitting and telling God I had to take I got sick, and then I left the office, and then I went home, and I remember just telling God, there's gotta be a way to do life, and this ain't it. I know that I'm there for a season. I just need to react to how do I navigate this season, and when does it end? How long am I supposed to do this? Because I think I'm killing myself, but you don't kill people, so there must be something wrong. And I remember just getting a date, 31st December 2023, and I remember thinking, that's it, that's the end, that's when this season ends. I quit my job. I go back to work. I had to leave for like 2-3 days. I go back to work. I write my resignation letter, and I send it to myself. I remember even telling my friends about it. I was like, guys, you know what I did? I wrote my resignation letter, and then I sent it to myself, because as much as it was confirmed in my spirit, that date was just so clear. Like that's it. I'm done. I knew my figures. I was like, the saving goals are not there. And so what I thought was like, well, I guess like there's going to be some big break within these 3 months, and all these opportunities that I've been trying to apply to that have to do with like film and entertainment, maybe something that would have turned out that would make my savings enough for me to take a risk, because this is probably the riskiest in industry. Like any creative is a risk taker. Like if you see any creative that is working full-time as a creative within the film, just arts, within the arts and entertainment industry, because it is the arts and entertainment industry, this is not one of those industries where people's lives are dependent on it. Like people would die without a movie. No, they would actually be just fine. The next month after I get that date is when I get this camera, and at the time I'm really struggling. It's end September, it's coming, it's almost October, my birthday is coming up. I'm going through a really rough season. I'm just, it's not the tired that I was feeling in August. I was physically exhausted. In end September all the way through October and all the way through November, until end November, I was emotionally exhausted. I was mentally exhausted. There was this almost down, like I was literally battling depression, because I was almost getting into depression, but having struggled with depression in the past, I was like, I know exactly what it looks like for an attack to come, and I've learned to like fight back. And so I'm like, I'm not going back there. But it was a real battle. Like I was literally getting into depression. I was like, no, I can do this. I can do this. I can make it. I have a dream, and as much as my life doesn't look like where I'm going, as much as I just turned 26 and I am nowhere where I wanted to be financially, spiritually, and it was around that season where I looked at myself spiritually, career-wise, financially, relationship-wise, just social relationships and romantic relationship too. And what's the last one? There's like 5 aspects I usually use to evaluate my life. Spiritual, relationship, 6 actually. Spiritual, finances, career, relationships, so family too, and family, romantic, friendships, all of that stuff. Environment, geographical location, and just, actual physical location. There's one more. What am I leaving? Health, and then physical health and stuff. And at the time, I just remember thinking of the many areas where I'm failing in all of this, and the failures became so much bigger than the achievements or the little progress that I was doing at the time. I knew I'd progressed. I knew I was getting better every day, but somehow the failures at 26 spoke so much louder, and so I had to fight every single day to not let it get the best of me. Literally my 26th birthday was my worst birthday, which is why I don't think I even vlogged it. Yeah, there is no birthday vlog, the 26th vlog, because I never want to come on here and try to portray something that I'm not. Like I'm genuine. Like if I'm having a good time, I'm genuinely having a good time. But if I'm struggling, I'm genuinely struggling. That's why if you go back between October and November, there's barely anything I vlogged. Even the few stuff that I didn't vlog, I didn't edit them. Like there is no, I have a few footage in my laptop.
Not sponsored, by the way.
Not sponsored.
Yes, and that.
Petra, why are you on the chair? Amani, turn around. Hey.
I'm the best Ringo. Don't
I got to say hello to everybody. I got to see them smile. So yeah, I feel very important.
End of November, like the Lord really just whooshed me out, and I went back to I was like, I'm gonna do Vlogmas and it's gonna be great, and it was great. And I was stretched to the last stretch, and I was like, yeah. I kept getting so much confirmation of how this is it, like this is the end. So I wasn't like, I think that's why the Lord just almost snatched me out of that season, because he didn't want me to quit from a point of I'm just tired and exhausted and that's why I'm gonna quit my job. I was having a good time at work. I was back, physically, emotionally, I was back. And then creatively, now that I finally had my mojo back, now that I had a camera, I was struggling for sure, because I don't know, I still am learning how to use a camera. I'm still learning how to edit on new apps, I'm learning how to edit on DaVinci, all of that stuff. But I was so excited and I had a really good time. December ended up being one of the happiest, between November and December, some of the happiest moments of my life just happened for me. And I was just, I was sure by the time December was ending, and so much other confirmations, every time we go back to the secret place, it was the same thing. Sermons, it was the same thing. You kept repeating trust me, trust me, trust me. God just kept telling me, trust me, just trust me, go, trust me, trust me. My actual passion, my actual dream. My dream can be put in one word. Actually, no, maybe 3 words. Film and entertainment and business. Few business ideas that I'm not gonna get into in this video, but also in terms of film, whether it's acting, which is my actual passion. I've loved acting my whole entire life. And then there is writing, which writing, editing, and filming, which is literally right now I'm doing all of it. Being a YouTuber means, which is what makes it so hard, I literally had to film. So I keep checking the camera. If the light is changing, it's because the weather is really acting tricky today. So I have to check the lighting outside, I have to direct, I have to make sure I'm sitting in the right position. I am the face of the video itself, and I literally just told you guys I had to write a script for this because it's a long video, and then even within the video I have to put in the stuff that I forgot. So it's really a lot of jobs in one, which is why I love YouTube. It's literally a glimpse of what I actually want to do full time. And on another day, in another video, I will give you I'll just give you a roll of what I've done in relation to the actual film industry. I can tell you that, I am 100% sure on a practical level how this is going to pan out for my life. But all I know is I want to do film. All I know is I want to do business. And I am as young as I will ever be. And so spending 8 hours, which is not just 8, because there's the commute time, which was 2 hours, and yes, we can do something productive. But then the way my commute situation was arranged, it was just barely could get anything done. So maybe out of the 2 hours, 1 hour of getting something done. And so in total it's 11 hours of my life being dedicated to something that is not heading where I wanted to head. And so I was just you know what, I could trust God and take this leap and actually go where He's directing me, where I know I will be fine, where I know I will be covered. And timing is so important. And so I just truly felt this is it. This is the time for me to pursue the dreams that I had. And so that's why I said goodbye, because my whole entire life I knew, even when I was young and I wanted to work as a medical doctor, I thought that you could be a doctor and an actress at the same time. And so now there is so much that I want to do in the film and marketing industry. I have so many plans and goals, and it is 2 months, it's almost 2 months later. The funds are depleting. Life has lifed, which is what we're going to be talking about in the next video when things don't go as planned. But other than that, that is how I ended up quitting my 6-figure salary to pursue my actual dream. So follow me along. If you have yet subscribed to this channel, subscribe to the channel. and follow me along. Follow along on this journey, and I call myself a writer. Follow along on this journey of I don't know what to call myself. I really struggle though. Yes, I even in my IG I put content creator, but I don't know. And maybe because in my head I know everything's like seasonal. Like at the end of my life, I don't know what title I would place for myself. But there's so many things there that I do and that I'm going to do. So for now, not even for now, if you want to follow along the journey of this creative, I think that's a good way to put all of it, then subscribe to the channel, like this video. Actually, even if you don't want to follow along, please like this video, it helps.